Hiring a car crash lawyer? Ask these questions before hiring and save yourself thousands of dollars and potentially years of grief. Number one, are you licensed in my state? For some reason, out-of-state law firms love to come to Indiana. They have some young attorney that passed the bar, and he might be in Kentucky, Michigan, Illinois, but they have an office here, and sometimes don't even have a live person at the office, but they have an office, and one of their young attorneys either took 2 bar exams, who knows? But a lot of these bigger law firms with massive billboards don't even have an attorney in the state. So the first question is, what attorney am I going to be working with, and are they licensed in the state? Now, these big law firms are going to try to give you the runaround. Oh, of course we're licensed in the state. Well, you need to talk to the attorney. I'm the intake. I have the attorney's ear. No. Talk to the attorney that's licensed in the state. Make sure that they know what they're doing. Ultimately, an attorney is the one that has to represent you, not intake department, not a client case manager, the attorney. So, is the attorney licensed in my state? And how about even this? Does he actually live in my state? Don't forget that last part either. Question number 2. When you're talking with the attorney that's licensed and lives in the state, ask them, will I be dealing with you or a case manager? Now, if the attorney tries to say, well, the case manager is going to help, that's fine. Every good attorney needs some help. But if they try saying, oh, yeah, the case manager will be a primary point of contact, you and I may never talk again. No. You want an attorney that's overseeing your case. You don't want just some case manager who's just trying to get till 5 o'clock, trying to worry about hanging out with these attorneys, just kind of go through the motions. You want an attorney who's invested and is actually watching what's going on with your case, not just handing it off to a case manager. Now, when you're talking to that attorney that lives in the state, after you've already established you're going to be working with the attorney, not just the case manager, ask them, what's a reasonable time period for you to respond to my questions? Good attorneys are busy. And so it's unrealistic to think that you'll be able to simply pick up a phone, call, and get connected immediately. And in fact, if that happens, if you simply call and an attorney picks up the phone and you're connected immediately, that's a pretty big red flag. That attorney probably is not very good, because they have way too much free time on their hand. There's always exceptions, but getting few and far between. The reality is good attorneys are busy. And so at this law firm, we have a standard operating procedure for emails and text, 1 business day. Give us 1 business day to respond. If there's an emergency, call, let the staff know, and we can try to triage, obviously, but 1 business day to respond. For phone conferences, if you want to talk on the phone about your case, absolutely. We love talking on the phone, but we try to generally schedule phone conferences, usually about 24 to 36 hours out, just so that we can prepare for those and we know what we're going to be talking about. Obviously, if there's an emergency, drop everything and talk. But there needs to be an expectation of when the person will get responses to text, phone calls, and emails. That's reasonable. And if the attorney can't provide that or won't give you some sort of reassurance, well, it's probably not a very good injury attorney for you. The next question is, are you experienced in personal injury law? It blows my mind. So many attorneys love signing up injury cases, but they have no clue how to actually practice injury law. And that's crazy, right? But so many attorneys think that all injury cases are just easy. Just send the medical records and we'll get a good settlement. There's so much more that goes into that. And in fact, insurance companies keep track of what attorneys actually fight, what attorneys actually go to trial, what attorneys actually do the right things, and they pay those attorneys more. It's just like when I was a prosecutor. The defense attorney walk up to me and say, hey, I want X, Y, and Z. I look at that defense attorney, you haven't done a jury trial in 4 years. I think you need to be a little bit nicer with your tone and asking me for stuff because I'm in charge. If the insurance company knows that attorney doesn't know what they're doing or knows they never go to trial, guess what? That's a bare bottom type settlement offer. Keep that in mind. You want an attorney that's experienced in injury law, not just, I have 25 years of practice. Yeah, but that 25 years was dentistry law or trust and estates. That's not going to help an injury case. And the last question is, will you file a lawsuit if necessary? Some attorneys have no problem signing up every single case, but they say, hey, you know what? This is not a case we can go to trial on. This is a case that, we have to try to get a settlement. There are some cases that are like that, but you want to know ahead of time if your attorney is going to actually go to the mat for you or they're going to just roll over and throw the case out. Because what happens, there are deadlines in injury cases. And we see this all the time. I get phone calls all the time. Mark Lopez Law Firm, how can I help you? I had an injury attorney. They dropped my case. The statute runs in a week. Will you please help me? Even if it's a good case, it's hard for me to justify putting my money on the dotted line, filing fees, expert fees to file a lawsuit if I have not had that case since the beginning. It's just hard. So know what you're getting into. And if the attorney tells you, hey, I'm not going to file a lawsuit in this case, well, then maybe reassess whether working with that attorney is a good idea, or at least know that ahead of time. So if it's a year after the injury and there's no significant settlement situation, you can get a new attorney. And you can always switch attorneys. It can get a little complicated. But ask those questions when you're talking to an injury attorney to try to save yourself money and grief. Here at the Mark Lopez Law Firm, we know that people who've been hurt in auto crashes, slip and falls, dog bites, we understand that they're often feeling significant frustration at what's going on in their life, and that's normal. However, allow us to turn that frustration into compensation. Give us a call, 317-632-3642.